Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but we know no matter what, we'll always have the time. Talk about the wastelands, talk about the Lord, talk about surviving radiation storms, talk about the doubts, talk about the fears, talk about the game we all love. It's Fallout through the years. That Fallout show.
Well, hey everybody, and welcome to That Fallout Show, episode 65, episode 65. It ended when you said goodbye. I am Rick McVick, and with us tonight is Shalene.
Hello.
And back as a threesome, yes, you're looking at the screen correctly. That is Vendertron. How you doing, buddy?
Welcome, sir or madam.
Oh man, we've only got 2 feet between us at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, little background stuff nobody knows about. But anyway, I hope everyone in the chat is enjoying their week. It is over. It is the weekend. How are you doing, Shalene?
Hey, actually, for once,
Oh, good.
the week was not terrible. It was acceptable,
Oh yeah,
and I'm okay.
good. Fall finally reached you down over there?
It did, yeah.
Good.
It was like a chilly 50 degrees today.
Mhm.
I had to wear a sweater in my office. Really.
And Vendor, how's it up your way?
It's full on fall, and you know what? The trees have changed, and they are so beautiful. I was hoping to get one last hike in on Sunday this weekend, but I sprained my foot.
Oh.
So, yeah, had a sore foot all day yesterday, and then woke up this morning and can barely walk. So,
Oof.
I'm just waiting for soft tissue to heal.
Got a question for you. By the way, Vendor is revamping his stream setup, so his microphone is probably a little goofy. Is the microphone on your headphones?
No, it's on my MacBook.
Okay, because something's rubbing like it's a zipper or something. Okay.
Something's rubbing.
Yeah, like it's a zipper.
It could be. Could it be this?
Yes, that is
Yes.
your microphone.
That's your microphone.
It's rubbing on your zipper.
So every time I have to. Okay, that's
No, it
interesting.
sounded fine when it was far away. It was rubbing on your zipper. That's all.
Okay, I'll hold it out.
Okay. Anyway, so tonight we've got some news. There's some happenings in the world of Fallout 76. We have some gameplay. Most of it's Shalene, but I played a little Fallout 4 today. So yeah. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what got us into the Fallout series, a weapon of the week, and some emails. But before we get into that, we have some things to discuss. Shalene, could you take it away?
Okay, before we start with that, I'm just gonna say
But
that
before
I'm
we
really
start with that,
disappointed. I'm really disappointed that you didn't use my little stinger for the welcome bit.
oh, I didn't
We are
see
the
that.
174th ranked video game podcast in Malaysia.
Well, great.
So, thank you, Malaysia, for this tremendous honor of being the 174th ranked video game podcast. Okay.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Wonderful is the only way you should feel
Like,
about that.
Yes.
Where is GameStack on that list? Are we 173?
I don't know. I didn't check where GameStack is. I just was looking at some 5-star reviews and stats and stuff, and yeah, 174 in Malaysia.
We're in the top
Oh my
200
gosh.
podcasts of all time. There, we could say it like
Yes.
that. Sounds better.
Brilliant.
Sounds
Brilliant. Yes. I don't know why they show these funny stats, but I enjoy them. Okay. Funny times over, guys. This is difficult.
It is.
It's difficult. And I'm sorry. But guys, we're just going to rip that Band-Aid off. We're putting TFS on hiatus for now. This is going to be the last episode for a while, for the known future. It's not out of the question that we could bring the show back if there is a new game or a major content update for 76 or something like that. but at this time, we have no plans to revive the show. And it has been difficult this last few months. You've noticed that we've missed a lot of shows. We've skipped several, and that's because it's been hard. It's been hard to do this show. I'm really the only one actively playing Fallout games right now, and if we're being honest with you guys, our hearts haven't been in this, and that's not fair to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I know that you guys are going to miss us terribly, but you don't have to, dear listener. You do not have to miss us. We have this entire other podcast that we do together called Game Stack, and Game Stack is incredibly fun. We love what we're doing over there, and I implore you to come and join us. Subscribe to Game Stack, listen to those shows. And in fact, since GameStack is our flagship show, we are planning some changes to roll a little bit more Fallout content into GameStack podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. There is somebody apparently driving.
The ghosts have come early this year.
Gracious. I don't know what that was. But I do apologize.
Fog. There's a ship coming in.
The hype train is really unhappy with us, apparently. But we are still interested in Fallout news. I'm still going to be playing Fallout games all the time. And we're going to carve space into GameStack podcast for that content. We're going to be cross-posting the next few episodes of GameStack onto that Fallout show podcast feed. And hopefully you guys will decide to hop over there and subscribe.
Yes.
GameStack is probably the best thing we've ever done content-wise, the three of us.
Yeah,
agreed.
I love what we do with GameStack, and I'm incredibly proud of it. And I do hope that those of you who don't listen yet are going to give it a chance. But that said, the Fallout community is fantastic. There are so many talented creators out there. And I just wanted to shout out a couple of other audio podcasts where you can get a dedicated Fallout fix. Of course, I'm going to shout out my own show, Names Who Game, which is not Fallout specific, but we do talk about Fallout a lot. So definitely check out Names Who Game. And the Fallout feed, who we've long considered a sibling show. The Fallout feed, they're the longest running Fallout podcast out there, and we love them. Definitely check them out. And of course, the Fallout Hub, featuring our lovely friend Dave Chapins, along with Robots Radio and Ken from the Chad podcast. Those are all some great places where you can get your Fallout fix. That said, we love you all. And we thank you so much for over these years inviting us into your cars, into your homes, into your workplaces for the last few years. Recording that Fallout show has been an utter privilege, and it's been an experience that we've treasured. But we're not leaving just yet. We do have a final show to share with you today. We have, as Rick said earlier, some news and some gameplay shenanigans, and we're going to have a good time together. Mm-hmm. Before that final music plays.
Now, I do also want to say that this discussion was going on for probably a few months, and just from my side of the perspective, we really waited to make the call after the last DLC content dropped for Fallout 76, and I'm just not a fan of games as service, and I was really hoping for more content pushes for 76 to kind of keep me interested. And that's the biggest problem. And I wasn't having fun with creating a show about a game that I was not having fun in. And so it was not, we all three talked about this, that anytime the podcast becomes unfun, that's when we have to sit and kind of talk about how we're going to restructure. And we know that, the listeners of that Fallout show are very, very loyal, and there's a lot of you. And so we didn't want to just say, see you later, and then just pop off air and not have to deal with anything. So that's why the discussion was to roll it into GameStack, like Shalene was saying. So we'll have dedicated segments. We're still going to cover Fallout news and that sort of thing. So it's not completely going away. It's just we can put more effort into consolidating essentially 2 shows into one, rather than trying to write one show that we all really like and then like have Shalene just kind of head this podcast by herself when, you know, me and Vendor might not even have played Fallout for months. So it's just
well, I mean, it's an unfair expectation,
yeah, absolutely,
to put on Shalene, right? So
But yeah, if we're being honest here, it wasn't very fun for me doing that.
Yeah.
For the last couple of months.
Absolutely.
It was not very fun at all. So.
But the other thing... Oh, go ahead,
I was
Rick.
going to say, and I feel like when we 3 are not having fun, that is portrayed in the actual show, and that's not cool for you guys. So
I just want to point to something here that's really important for our listeners to know, and that is to say that we are genuine content creators. In the sense that if we don't think that a show is getting the best that we can give it, it is not fair to the people listening to that show. And you can go out into the podcast universe and find all kinds of different content creators who are still doing the shows that they do, but they just do it because they're pulling in a salary or donations or some other reasons of vanity, etc. And you know, we do GameStack because we love to do it. We did TFS because it was an important part of our lives. But to continue on with that, it would be dishonest to our listeners.
Yeah.
And it would be dishonest to ourselves as well. Well, to me anyways. But to touch on your point, Rick, that you were saying, Fallout 76 for me was probably not what I had anticipated it would be. And I really struggled with that mentally. It's very complex. I have a very complex relationship with Bethesda because it was Bethesda that brought me back into video games. And so I've been trying to come to terms that Fallout 76 just isn't for me. I do love all of their other games. But I have this complex relationship with Bethesda games where I've just sort of moved on to playing other things, and that's okay, right?
yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, I think that, you know, it's not the end. Come to GameStack. We will talk about Fallout there.
Yes.
And if Rick or I hop into other Fallout games, we will talk about it there. Shalene will tell us about her shenanigans in the Wasteland with Archon. And we invite you all to come over to GameStack because it really is a great, safe space for you to get all of your gaming news and other experiences.
And I'm gonna feel a lot more comfortable having these conversations on a GameStack where we're all engaged and happy to be there. And I it's something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the thing is like I can't keep doing a Fallout show when I don't play Fallout. so yeah. I mean, it's just not fair, and it just feels a little bit ingenuine. So, but with that said, we have one last great show to do tonight. We're gonna do it. We're gonna knock it out of the park. Let's go.
Yeah, and as timing is always against us, in a way, we have some 5-star review shout-outs.
It's just the one. The other 2 we had already done.
Oh,
so.
we did? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so
that was my
one,
mistake.
Yeah.
So we just have the one.
Okay, so it's just the one. Do you want to go ahead and take it? Shalene?
No, somebody else.
Okay, I got it. All right, from the U.S. Oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher the name. Lao Wai Slade. I found y'all's, yes, I'm a Southern originally from Louisiana, podcast a few weeks ago or so. Been binging episodes. I'm on episode 51. What brought me to your podcast is about a month ago I got a call from the son of my best friend letting me know that he had passed away. I've been living in China for about 3 years now. The one listener you have from China is me. I like that. Since I wasn't able
but
to
we had asked on a previous show.
Yeah,
we had looked at our stats and we were getting a single download in China.
Laowai. Slade. Laowai Slade, I guess. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I really don't mean to. I've been living in China for about 3 years, one listener from China. And since I was unable to be at his funeral, I decided to honor his memory by replaying the Fallout series, except for Fallout 76, as I do not own it, and decided to find a podcast about Fallout to keep the spark going till I finish my replay. I met him when I was at college and working at a mom-and-pop computer software store. He came into the store looking for a turn-based battle game, and we had a double pack of Fallout 1 and 2 that I sold him. After that, he would stop by the store once or twice a week, and we became friends. When Fallout 3 and New Vegas and 4 came out, we would spend hours talking to each other about the Fallout series, about doing this to get that, and if you had this perk, you can get this dialogue is different. We love the Fallout series. I know 99.9% of your podcast is about 76, and it's understandable. It's the latest Fallout game, but I know you all have a lot of love for the series, as we did, and thank you for sharing it with us. It has helped me get through a tough time missing a loving friend. So, it was just when we first saw this come through, we're like, oh, great. But I mean, we're really happy that we were able to help someone get through the worst of times and sometimes the best of times. And yes, we do have a big love for the series. I may have a love-hate relationship for 1 and 2, but yes, we genuinely do like the series on the whole. So that was our 5-star review and shout out.
I think that review really brings up such an important point about how a shared love for a series can bond people together, just like it did with us. We wouldn't know each other if not for the Fallout series. We wouldn't even know each other. And you guys are my best friends. You're my best friends in the world. And it's all because we played a video game.
Who knew? But yeah, so... And I don't think we have anyone new to the Discord this week. But, yeah, I don't know how to follow that up. That's kind of a tough one.
Definitely join our Discord.
Yes.
Everybody should join our Discord. How can they do that?
They can go to the link that is below the three of us right now on our Discord, on our Twitch page here at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. Or you can send us a message on the Twitters or the Facebooks, or our email, which is info@wejustlovegames.com, and ask for an invite code, and we will send that to you. There's a bunch of people on the stack, as we like to call it, and there's always stuff going on in our science channel. Our GIF Wars channel is always getting dirty, and then not getting dirty, and then getting weird. It's just a fun place. And then a lot of good conversations in the lobby and general gaming as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to meeting you in the Discord, so pop on in. All right.
Yeah, the Discord is a huge part of my day.
Yeah.
Same.
Like,
I waste so much of my life.
It is one of the first things that I check every morning, and throughout the day. And particularly this week, I think, the community in the Discord has really brought a lot of laughs and smiles to my day. So, it's a really great thing that we have. So if you're interested in joining the Discord, please do so, because we'd love to have you there.
And my main objective for the Discord is to pop on GIF Wars and to see how cringy and awkward I can make it. Like, that is my goal whenever I go into GIF Wars there. So there's been a few that I haven't done because I'm just nervous to do it, even though it's my own Discord, like I
Well, I mean, it's also my Discord.
I know, but
so
I don't care about
it's well.
It's our listeners that I care about offending.
Wars. I did unfollow the GIF Wars
Why?
channel because I couldn't keep up with it. I have to keep the notifications clear. I have to.
Every
it makes
channel.
me insane.
Every channel is muted for me.
Yeah, I don't follow any channel.
I had to mute.
There's just too much going on. Like, it's chaos.
It was too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't follow any channels because there's always something new in there. So I just I don't deal with it. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get into the news.
If you like news, you're gonna love our next segment.
All right, and Shalene, what happened in the world of Fallout?
Hey Rick, can we use these bumpers sometimes on GameStack?
Sure.
I love these bumpers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the world of Fallout,
It's funny you should say that, Shalene, because I was gonna say that we should take some snippets from the intro that Mr. G made for us and like use it for like when you talk about Fallout.
That Fallout segment.
Yeah, we'll have to do something.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
News. They've updated the Fallout 76 fourth quarter roadmap. So, you know, they released this seasonal roadmap situation. And the previous one that they released last year or earlier this year, I don't remember when, it had this big scene of Tales from the Stars stating that stars have aligned in the wasteland, and you can marvel at the discovery of new legends and the reappearance of an Appalachian myth. Along with 4-star legendaries, a seasonal event called The Ritual, Invaders from Beyond, Public Challenge, and Daily Ops surprises, and Camp Pets. Well, they've taken all these things away. The new... all those things that sounded fun and exciting, they've dashed our hopes on the rocks and completely changed that. The new roadmap shows that the big featured thing is called Night of the Moth.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Night of the Moth has arrived in the wasteland. Help the wise Mothmans enlightened to observe the Mothman Equinox and unlock unique camp rewards. And the seasonal event is the Mothman Equinox. 4-star legendaries are gone. Camp Pets are gone. Invaders from Beyond is gone. But they have added a few other things. Pip Boy colors. So, yay, a feature from 2006.
Man, they're really running out of ideas. Hey?
Bethesda? Not that I'm not happy to have this feature. I'd like to be able to adjust my Pip-Boy color. I like to keep it white because it gives a good white light when you use the Pip-Boy light. But I really legendary loot sharing and local looting, which are some things that we will get a little more into detail later. Those are some quality of life updates.
Okay.
And we will talk about those here in a moment in a little more depth. They sound like really positive things. I don't think they necessarily sound worthy of being on the roadmap. It's not a replacement for pets. Bethesda, where's my little pet liberator bot?
Yeah.
You heartless bastards.
So I feel like they're shifting development away, like from 76. Like, this is what it feels like to me, is that they don't have enough people working on the game anymore. Which isn't to say that they're abandoning 76. It just makes me feel like they're making something else.
Starfield?
Well, maybe they're pushing resources onto that to kind of get it finished for next year. Maybe. But who knows? That's just what it feels like. That the reason that there's not a lot of content coming out, that it is just kind of aesthetics and, you know, cool things, but the fact that they just schwacked almost everything for winter just makes me feel like that they're pulling resources in a different direction. Also, their timing for like our last show, and they're like, let's just take away all the fun parts, and it's just like, this is kind of why.
It is funny. It is funny.
Oh,
I feel like the Bethintern may have had some insider knowledge and did this to spite us.
I feel like
perhaps.
he just got laid off.
Yes. Oh right, what's he gonna do now? The Bethintern, he or she.
Well, no,
what are they gonna do?
I didn't mean because of us, because I meant because like they haven't been heeding our advice for like months.
Yes, but what is their job now? Without, I guess they can watch GameStack. Yeah.
Well,
I do want to
they
shout
just
out.
have to go back to the Fallout feed, right?
Indeed. I do want to quickly shout out Brennan and Andon in the chat. I played Fallout with Brennan and Andon a couple weeks ago. Archon and I ran into him in the wasteland, and we had a lot of fun chatting and doing events and stuff. So hi.
Nice.
We talked about you on GameStack.
Shalene, you're adorable.
The next thing is going to be the latest inside the vault. So let's talk about that.
Let's take a dive.
Indeed. We will dive deep inside the vault. And the main thing that's kind of headlining the article for this week is the public test server will be reopened to do some play testing for the Night of the Moth update. And they have included a revised community calendar as well. So you'll be able to try the new Mothman themed seasonal event, public event adjustments, and some quality of life improvements. And they are currently targeting December to release this update live for the game. And of course, they're looking for feedback or bug reports while the PTS is live. And you can have a look at what's going to be new in the PTS and put your own feedback and thoughts in the Bethesda Studios Discord. So the first thing is the Mothman Equinox seasonal event. I'm just going to read this. The planets are aligning, and a group of the wise Mothman's most devoted followers, known as the Enlightened, have traveled from afar to reach Point Pleasant. There, they intend to perform a ritual that will summon the wise Mothman during the peak of his power. Every hour during this seasonal event, you can venture to Point Pleasant to aid the Enlightened in completing this dark ceremony. However, this will be no easy task, as you'll also need to fend off rival Mothman cultist groups who seek to stop you. As well, if you're the curious type, you may find that poking around Point Pleasant during this seasonal event may enlighten you to the mysterious origin behind our newest Mothman fanatics. I love that they're adding bits of lore into this. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
And I'd like to talk about something else. They mention the wise Mothman at the peak of his power, but I would like to say that we have long theorized that the wise Mothman is the female of the species, because when you kill a wise Mothman, she's got eggs. She's the only Mothman that has eggs in their inventory when they are killed.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that, I mean, just binary genders don't necessarily apply to the insect world. There could be male carrying eggs. I mean, it happens in nature. Seahorses give birth to wee seahorses, but they're not the female versions.
Yeah,
So,
true.
I mean, it could be a Mothman. Maybe there is no male female. Maybe they're all asexual and they just kind of point out little other moth babies.
Possible. I am not extremely informed on the reproductive processes of the moth. And
Rule 34, I'm sure it exists.
But I do appreciate Rick's interest in the scientific assessment of and inquiry into moth reproduction.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have to keep in mind that these are not only cryptids, they are highly irradiated cryptids. So anything could happen. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. While the Mothman Equinox event is live, you'll also encounter hostile cultist high priests throughout Appalachia who can bend the will of nearby creatures to do their bidding. Stop the cult from spreading their influence by taking down any high priests you meet. When you do, you'll be able to loot them for a chance to earn rare item plans. So that sounds pretty similar to like the mole miner treasure hunters or the seasonal holiday scorched. So you'll have an event as well as these Mothman high priests.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts on Mothman?
I mean, it sounds fun. That's the one thing I do enjoy about 76 is their events. I love the Fashnash and the holiday. I think the Christmas jingle. My brain stopped.
It's okay.
The jingly scorch.
The jingle scorched.
Yeah,
They're so cute. I like the ones in the blue suits, little powder blue snowflake suits.
Yes, yeah. So, but yeah, it sounds fun. I like that they're putting some lore into it.
Me too. I think it's really fun that they're going to have lore and give you a reason to explore the town again. Because I've played a lot of this game, and I tend not to pay a ton of attention anymore to things like that. And this gives me a whole new reason to start poking through all of the nooks and crannies in all the corners of the game. you mentioned that you enjoy events.
Yes.
Well, we also have public events as part of Fallout 76. Those are one of the primary things that we do when we hang out, and they are improving those with this new update, which I have some concerns, but we'll see what these developers have to say for themselves. First, we are streamlining the way that public events become available by making the cooldown times between events much more consistent and preventing the same public event from appearing twice in a row in the same world. Okay, reasonable. Next, we're adding rewards information to the event description that appears after clicking a public event on the map so that you can more easily see the types of loot that you can earn from each event. Bueno, that sounds good. Okay. Finally, we're making a few balance changes to events that have historically been very difficult, like Radiation Rumble and Project Paradise. Okay, I was not happy the last time they nerfed things.
Yeah.
So
that was
we'll
kind
see.
of some of the fun of those was that they were
Yeah.
freaking difficult.
Some things need to be hard. Some things,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why they make.
we don't get a ton of challenges. We Rick, shut up. Some of the events they're saying last too long, like Line in the Sand, which I kind of disagree with because that's my level up event. Whenever I need to get a level up, I go to Line in the Sand and I always get there. So
I would agree. Okay, I wouldn't say that it lasts too long. I would just say that it's very unclear as to what wave you're on and what's happening if it glitches out. Like,
Yes.
It'd be kind of nice to know, like, how close are we done the wave? Like, kill Scorch, like, 50 out of, like, 100?
I would like for it to give a counter of Scorch.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Or a countdown or something. I don't know. But I don't think it's too long.
I understand people saying that Line in the Sand lasts too long. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I do use that event when I need a level up. So, and now they are saying they're adjusting events that end too quickly, like tea time. And that's
I thought you'd
just
be
what
happy
I've
about
always.
that.
I love tea time.
Right.
It's fun to go make tea. I don't want to do it for 10 minutes. I mean, it's already a timed event. It lasts based on time. Not you can't rush it along. It's timed. I don't think it needs to be longer. Tea time. But then if you're still with us, take some notes. I don't think tea time needs to go on for much longer. And they've also fixed up some bugs that affected Swarm of Suitors and made some design tweaks to help revitalize that event. And this is not a very popular event, so I understand why they're working on that one. I'm not sure why it's not very popular. It's a perfectly reasonable event. Go kill some Mirelurks, maybe fight a queen. It's not a bad event. And then you're right there if you'd like to take a possum quiz or something. So
That is kind of an unpopular one, honestly.
I wonder why. I really do. And the next, go ahead.
No, I would say again. Sometimes, like, you show up, and it's like, kill the suitors before they arrive at the island, and you're like, I don't see anything.
And like you can
then you're
kill
waiting.
them before they arrive at the island.
Yeah.
But if you do, then you don't get the queen.
Well, right, but I think that's the whole point. Is you're supposed to kill them before the queen. But what I'm saying is, like, I've shown up to that where there's no queen, no suitors, and then it ends. And you're like, okay. So I think like it would be more popular if it just felt like cohesive. I think
Makes sense. Makes sense.
so.
Some quality of life improvements are inbound, and these are the thing, frankly, that I'm the most interested in from this entire article and update. Corpse highlights. I know I love to highlight corpses. I think all corpses should be highlighted.
You're getting all Lisa Frank on those dead bodies.
I made it weird. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. So when you ever kill some things and then you're having trouble finding the bodies to loot, and you want to loot them
every day.
Yeah.
All the time.
Also when playing video games, that can happen.
Oh.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of tall grass in Appalachia. We've all lost a legendary corpse in there, and sometimes it's really frustrating trying to find the stuff to loot it. But with this update, they will be adding highlights so that you can more easily spot nearby corpses and spend more time adventuring and less time searching for your loot. In addition, normal and legendary creatures will have different highlight colors so that you can tell them apart more easily. And I think that's wonderful.
That is smart.
So even just today, I hopped on with Archon before the podcast and we did the daily homework, and we spent like 10 minutes looking for this one legendary Mirelurk. It was terrible. Never did find it.
I was gonna say, and then you do find it. It's like a 1-star like board. You're like,
Yeah,
cool. That was
ridiculous. Be an instigating rolling pin, something fantastic like that. Okay, and the next quality of life update is nearby corpse looting. And this one sounds like something that's going to save tons of time.
Yeah.
So it says, unlike many of the creatures who cross your path in the wasteland, you are a born survivor. Whenever corpses start to pile up, you'll no longer need to pick through each and every one to grab your loot. When viewing a fallen enemy's inventory, you can now see and collect all the goodies that the creatures around you have dropped by hitting the nearby corpses button. Happy looting. So that will save a lot of time. You can just loot one thing. I feel like that's a sort of MMO sort of move.
Yeah, it's Guild Wars 2 has that where like you hit at the F button to collect all, and it just like everything just goes right to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel weird not to be running from meat pile to meat pile. It's gonna feel really weird.
I'm sure that would be like, especially in Radiation Rumble. You know, like it's one thing. I always liked it when they like dissolved into like meat piles or something, so that way when you picked them up they disappeared, and I thought that was a nice, but that didn't happen all the time. So this would be nice when you can just kind of collect an area loot. But think of how fast you'll get over encumbered.
Yes.
It's gonna be a lot more of like
that's a nightmare. Oh my gosh,
So
you've just ruined this for me.
Maybe I shouldn't have hit take all.
Oh, you've absolutely just ruined this for me. Okay. Yeah, that's going to happen. Legendary loot sharing. And this is a very important one. Going forward, if you're within sight range of a legendary creature when it's killed, you'll be able to loot it.
Ooh.
With this improvement, the days of trying to hit legendary enemies before they die, as well as waiting for other players to get their hits in before you land the killing blow, are over. And that is a fantastic thing because a lot of people are really inconsiderate about letting everybody get a shot in on the legendary. And how much time have we spent in
Uranium
what's
Fever?
That one called? Yes, Uranium
that's what
Fever.
I was just gonna say.
Waving people over to come get the legendary.
You walk up and punch it. And then like there's that one guy who accidentally does kill it in one shot, and you can tell they're like, I'm
like,
sorry.
Oh no.
I got a critical hit.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so that's going to be a really, really good thing. And the next thing is Team XP sharing. Sharing is caring, and leveling up as you adventure with your team is about to get easier than ever. Every enemy that you or a teammate takes down will now grant XP to everyone on the team, so long as they are within sight range of the creature when it dies.
I thought that was a thing, though. Oh.
No.
I thought that was always a thing.
No. You have to hit the creature to get XP.
Oh, well, that is dumb.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
have
better
to get
now.
it in. Like how in Sea of Thieves, when you guys do a thing, I also get credit for it.
Yeah.
Now that's going to happen in Fallout, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that makes
Wait,
sense.
that wasn't a thing?
Yeah,
No.
see, that's what I was saying. I thought
You
it
have
was
to get
too.
a hit on the creature to be able to get XP
I did
for
not
it.
realize that.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier with Archon.
I remember
And
that.
yeah, he and I did those characters that we leveled up together when Wastelanders came out. You guys remember that? And we were trying to keep them at the same level as we went, and he was constantly like 5 levels above me because he kills things and I pick flowers. Um,
Now you can
and
pick
so
flowers and level
he would
up.
he would be like trying to kind of hang back and let me kill things, and it was a miserable experience trying to keep up with him, and it made me sad. And I was telling him, I was like, look, I'm gonna be able to keep up with you now, and he was like, well, about that, when you're not getting XP, it's usually because you've wandered away. And you won't be within range anyway. I was like, darn it, why you have to crush my dreams like
As
that?
long as you stay in like the general vicinity while you're picking
Yes.
flowers, you'll get the XP for it. So.
I do appreciate that, and I'm definitely going to have an easier time leveling up because I definitely do more flower picking than I do combat.
Ass-kicking.
Yes. There is a build menu new tab that will be added to the camp build menu.
That's amazing.
And it will display any new camp item plans that you've learned during your current play session, as well as any new camp items you've unlocked in the Atomic Shop.
That's cool.
And that is so great, because how many times have you been like, okay, where is this thing that I just unlocked? And you have to search through. The build menu is so bad. It's so bad. But then this is our last chance to talk about this. But then
It's not our last chance. What are you talking about?
Well, our last chance on TFS to talk about. We'll be back with GameStack. We'll be talking about this then. But
Don't worry, we're gonna bitch about it on GameStack.
Yes. Please fix the build menu tab. The build menu. It needs to be reorganized. It's a mess. It doesn't make sense. Fix your shit, Bethesda. Just please. It's a mess. It's a mess.
This episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next thing is probably the thing I've been wanting for the longest out of all of these. A key ring in the Pip Boy. Whew, wonderful. Again, with features from Fallout 3 that we... Thanks, Bethesda. It's awful. All those keys. We needed a key ring.
Yep.
They existed in previous Bethesda games. Bring back the key ring. They're planning to. Thank you, Bethesda, for giving us a key ring. And of course, we mentioned the Pip Boy menu customization. You can change the colors on your Pip Boy. What is your go-to Pip Boy color? Vendor.
White.
Rick.
Green.
Like
The standard green.
Standard green.
Yeah.
Okay. I like pink sometimes. For the Pip Boy,
Yeah.
I wish we could customize the Pip Boy color and the light color separately, because I usually use white so that I get a good white light.
Mm-hmm. That's why I use white.
When I use the Pip Boy light. But I enjoy having the text in a fun color, like a nice fuchsia. So
I like the lore friendly, just green. Now, when I would do the headlamps, I would use tactical red, because that does not dilate one's pupils in low light
more
settings.
interesting.
Yeah, that's why the military uses red flashlights. Because
Roleplay.
yeah,
Classic Rick.
Yeah.
I usually use the red light when I go hunting for vampires.
Yeah. I was told that I don't have to put out that red light, so.
Oh, well. So you've been making extra money?
We're going to call you Roxanne now.
It was the obvious joke. I'm
It was.
sorry. Arjun's go-to Pip Boy color is light orange in the chat. So,
Light
yeah,
orange.
that's a nice color.
Dad Gaming says, yeah, with a green symbol around it. I'm assuming he also means green, so there we go.
Yeah, indeed.
Mhm.
And the final quality of life update is called Ammo Everywhere. And I'm going to read this description. The contextual ammo system has been a very popular aspect of daily ops, and so we'd like to bring it to all of Appalachia. Now, all existing sources of ammo, like containers and creature loot, have a chance to drop a small amount of ammo for your currently equipped weapon. So.
Can we all just be thankful that the Pip Boys have always been a dark mode?
Yes. Oh, just
Like,
the idea of Pip Boy light mode.
Actually, something that Bethesda has done right from the start is
Dark
a
mode.
dark mode for Pip Boy. Just pointing that out.
There's a couple other people chiming in. All the Dirt says his color's blue. There, I don't know how. And then Chris Jones says green, and Taz says white. Everyone, I see, like everyone has their own little thing. I just stick with like the in-game green because it's kind of like.
Mm-hmm. I really liked the shade of sepia that was in Fallout New Vegas. I liked that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
cool.
Yeah, I feel like in the late game, ammo is not an issue at all, but this will be a real boon to lower level characters who need bullets.
Or if you run fully auto, like heavy weapons or commando build, you're always running out of ammo. So
yeah, I recently did a thing with my character. I changed my perks. Instead of I moved away from some of my survivability perks and changed them to ammo weight reduction perks.
Oh yeah, that was always I have to have that, yeah.
Because my stash was it was full all the time. And I moved all that ammo from my stash to my pockets. And now I have so much free space. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I have like 83 missiles in my pocket and I'm not over encumbered. I'm just frolicking through the fields. It's delightful.
I don't keep missiles or mini nukes at all. Like I don't keep any energy weapon stuff or missiles or nukes. I just keep ballistic gunpowder based ammo because
I just hoover all the ammo up and then whatever I have the most ammo for is the next weapon that I'm going to use.
That's actually how I play as well.
I can't do that. I gotta have a
Except
specific
the 50
gun.
cal. I was always out of the 50 cal.
The 50 cal is so fun. It's such a fun gun.
It's still frustrating. Go ahead.
That's it for quality of life updates.
Okay,
So.
I was gonna say it still frustrates me how the 50 cal is basically a pea shooter, like in that game when that thing would just rip everything apart in real life.
It was my favorite nuclear winter weapon. I loved the 50 cal and nuclear winter.
You ripped people apart with that thing.
I was a beast. With that thing.
Shalene, I think you should make a death tambo in real life.
That would be so fun. And it would jingle. That would be so fun.
You could put it on your desk at work.
Oh my gosh. I'm not allowed to have a death tambo at work.
So when your boss comes in, you can just like, ching, ching. You were saying?
Have you seen that comic where the guy is like, he's playing a PC game. He's on the headset and he says, hang on, guy. His boss comes in and is like, hey, why are you playing games at work? And he says, hang on, I've just got to defeat this boss first. And then he punches his boss.
I've seen that one.
I love that. That's what
funny.
it made me think of when you said have a death tambo at work.
Yeah.
So they have done a revised community calendar, and some of the content that they had originally announced for the end of the year will be pushed to 2022, including camp pets, invaders from beyond, and 4-star legendary items. And they say that while they are sure this news is a disappointment to some of us, they appreciate our patience and believe that this additional time will result in higher quality and more polished features. Despite this scheduling change, there is still plenty of excitement in store for Fallout 76 this year, including Bombs Drop Day festivities, spooky and holiday Scorched event, and of course, everything they detailed above for the PTS. So let's click through to this community calendar and see what we've got here. Anything that's super interesting. In October, we've got from the 7th through the 11th, double mutations and a gold rush weekend. October 14th through 18th, Caps a Plenty weekend and Minerva's big sale. October 19th through November 2nd, a spooky Scorched seasonal event. Oh, hey! So is that going to be like the Santa Scorched, but it'll be spooky Scorched?
Makes sense.
That sounds fun. October 21st through 25th, Super Script Surplus, Double Mutations Weekend, and a Purveyor Sale, 50% off. And October 23rd is Bombs Drop Day. I wonder what they're going to do for that.
Didn't they do that last year?
Yes. I don't remember what they did.
Oh.
And it bothers me that they call it Bombs Drop Day instead of Great War Day.
Yeah.
Why? Oh.
I feel like it should be called Great War Day. That's all. It's just personal preference.
I mean, I feel like you should just have random mini nukes fall out of the sky.
That would be so
Just walking
great.
around and
So great. Just random nukes. October 28th through November 1st will be a double score weekend. And then there is a similar lineup for November: double XP, double mutations, gold rush, and purveyor sale. November 14th is the 3-year anniversary of Fallout 76. Wow, 3 years.
yeah,
And I still haven't cleared all those achievements.
3
How
years
dare I?
and you just got a key ring.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yes. So that's pretty much it. And then let's look at December. Night of the Moth update, season 7, Zorbo's Revenge, and lots of quality of life improvements. I believe Zorbo was the antagonist for the first season map. When they had you like racing against his little spaceship.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that.
we'll see how that goes. And the holiday scorch begins on December 21st. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
That's it for Inside the Vault for this week. And that's all the news that I had. You know what? I this has been difficult. It's been a difficult day. I would like some retail therapy.
All right, let's go ahead and get into our ballistic bargains. All right, vendor, do you want to take this, or do you want me to grab it, or?
Sure, I can take care of the ballistic bargains one last time
Let's
in
do
the
it.
Atomic Shop weekly update, September 28th to October 5th. You can catch these items in the Atomic Shop. These items are free with the Nixie Tube alarm clock. You'll never have to worry about sleeping in too late again. Fallout First members this month can also claim the Jack Gordon outfit and the Jack O'Lantern helmet until October 5th. So those three items are available. You can also visit the Atomic Shop each day to claim a different reward, like consumables, in-game currencies, and more. These items are available until 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time the following day. The Perfect Bubblegum, September 28. Radex X3, September 29. On September 30th, the Repair Kit, Caps times 250 on October 1st. October 2nd, Gold Bullion times 25. The Lunchbox on October 3rd. And the Nuclear Keycard on October 4th. These items, for a limited time only in the Atomic Shop, you'll never see them coming when they're in camouflage. Blend in with your environment and surprise your enemies with the Survival Camouflage Bundle. The Military Intel Officer Uniform is available for 800 atoms. The 50 cal round backpack flare for 250 atoms. The Camo Turret Skin for 500 atoms. Survival Camouflage Bundle, 30% off for 840 atoms. And in that bundle is also included separate items: Camouflage Metal Armor Paint, the Camouflage Leather Armor Paint, the Camouflage Combat Armor Paint, and the Hunting Rifle Paint. Also, you can pick up the Pump Action Shotgun Tactical Paint as well, all between 300 and 500 atoms. Some other items available from last week that are still here for a limited time. You can pick up the modular sofa set, Avocado. Also, the Nuka-Cola stained glass lamps, the hanging wall planter set, the Down Home Dweller bundle. You can also pick up the Home Defense Wallpaper bundle, the Down Home Wallpaper set, Nuka-Cola Stash Box, West Virginia Backpack, and the Revolutionary Pip Boy Paint.
That Nuka-Cola lamp looks awesome.
It's really cool.
And I want
It's
like
really
a Coca-Cola one in like back here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Some of your favorite items have returned to the Atomic Shop for just a little while, and many of them are on sale. So hold on to your butts, because this is what I've got. Available until 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 5th, you can pick up the Raider Scabber Bundle for 1,440 atoms, 20% off. You can also get the Red Rocket Mega Furniture Bundle, the Black Rider Power Armor Skin, Daredevil Bodysuit, Cowhide Western Outfit, Bony Tambo Skin for the Death Tambo, and the Aviator Paint for the Fat Man, as well as the Stars and Stripes Bandana and the Glow-in-the-Dark game map.
Nice.
Be sure to pick up anything that catches your eye. These items heading for the vault On October 5th, available until 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Red Menace Outfit Bundle, Communist Militant Outfit, Communist Red Menace Backpack, Red Menace Pip Boy Paint, the Stash Box, as well as the Red Menace Flag Set. You can also get the Communist Handmade Rifle Skin and the Communist Collectron Station. Lastly on my list, extensive list, are the weekly offers. Available from September 28th till... Oh, actually, that's not available anymore, so I'm just going to skip over those things. You missed out on the Screaming Eagle Handmade and also the Diamond Eyes face paint, but you can still pick up until today the Gatling Gun Player icon. As well, starting today, the Spiked Barricade available until October 2nd. Starting on October 2nd and available until October 3rd, the Razor Hawk hairstyle. And on October 3rd to October 4th, the Fish Lamp, and the Station Pump Action Shotgun Skin from October 4th to 5th, and then the Nuka-Cola Dark Power Armor paints with Fallout first from September 28th to October 5th.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Shalene, how was that retail therapy for you?
Good. I feel so much better now. I bought those the hanging planters, and they're quite
Nice.
lovely. Mhm.
Nice. All right. Well, that brings us into our gameplay for... I was going to say the week, but, anyway.
However long it's been, just however long we remember.
However long we remember. I got to play the bumper again. It cannot be interrupted. It's such a good bumper.
It's the best bumper.
The OG bumper. All right. So, I'll take it real quick.
Did
That's
you
right.
wait for me to come back?
No.
Oh, okay.
I
sorry.
interrupted the bumper, and that was unacceptable. So
It's sacrilege.
we had to play the bumper again.
It's sacrilegious to interrupt the
And then
OG
we
bumper.
had a little conversation about how good the bumper is.
What are you about to do on stream? Oh, hand cream.
He's
Okay.
moisturizing.
It's lotion.
I know that. I was nervous.
If you must know, it's my favorite lotion.
Was that Bath and Body Works?
Yes, it is. It's Twisted Peppermint from Bath and Body Works.
I love their lip gloss, the Twisted Peppermint lip gloss. It's so
Yes.
Um,
Yes, it's very good.
yeah, we're keeping the bumper for the game stack gameplay segment because we don't have a bumper for that, so we're just going to use this one. So, all right, I actually played a little bit of Fallout Shelter today. Weirdly.
good. Really?
Yeah. Well, I had like 50 records to cut. Well, I had half of 50, so I had like 26. I know that 26 is not exactly half of 50, but I had 24 cut and needed to cut 26 more. Anyway, and each one is about like each side's like 2 minutes. So I wanted to do something to kind of like take up the time while I'm waiting for the disc to get done. And I was like, I need a game. So I was getting tired of the little piddly one I had, and I downloaded Fallout Shelter. And it distracted me, and I missed the ending of one of the cuts, and I missed the run out groove. So I was like, I can't play that anymore. But it was fun. I mean, it was. They really do this thing where they like ramp. That you start out and you play it for like an hour, and then you can interact. But then after like an hour, you have to wait, and then you wait, and then wait. And you're like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Fallout Shelter was fun when who was it that bred everyone?
That was we did a stream, and it was, who was it? What was his name? I haven't seen him around in a long time. I would recognize him, but
Was it Raptor? No.
There was a Z in that name.
Oh, Zapu.
Zapu, yes. Zapu was the father of like every child in my vault.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. we put him on Wander, and
He just brown chicken, brown cow all over that thing.
Yes. He owes back child support to this day. Yeah.
So yeah, I played that for a hot minute and then just stopped. And so, but I actually played a little bit of Fallout 4 this evening. I was sitting at my computer. I just got done playing a little bit of Valheim, and I was like, I should play something else before. It was like 7 o'clock, and I was like, I'll put on Fallout 4 to load fairly quick. And I booted it up, and I was somewhere in the, where was I? I was in Boston. No. Is Boston right? Does that sound right? That's not right.
Well, Boston is the setting of Fallout.
Yeah, so I was in this actual city limits, and I was walking up towards the river that kind of cuts through. You know what the band shell is, and the I forget. Yeah, so is it the band shell?
Where you find the lady,
Yeah.
the sister from the clean house.
Yeah. So I was walking around there and shooting up some raiders in the apartment buildings next to the bridge and doing that sort of thing. And it really hit me how good Fallout 4 feels. Like when it's running and it feels good and you don't have it modded like crazy. I'm sure it feels, but like the combat is so much more tactile and responsive than like especially if you played 76 for a long time and you go back into Fallout 4, you'll be like, this is so good. And
Well,
it looks
that's
good.
one of the things that was a little bit shocking for me with 76 is that it is basically Fallout 4. Right? It's the same mechanics, it's the same engine.
But not as good.
Exactly.
But
And
it's
you're
not as
right.
good.
Fallout the combat in Fallout 4 is some of the best that they've done.
And I really think
Yeah.
it's because it's server-side damage that's accrued, so there's like a little bit of a delay there. So, I mean, it makes sense as to how it works, but when you go back and play Fallout 4, and it has some of the things that, like, 76 doesn't have, and you just...
Like a key ring.
Key ring, the colors, you just forget about the stuff. The graphics on it are pretty good for being pretty, well, at this point, an oldish game. I just was kind of taken with the sounds of the game, the way that it looked, the way that it felt, and the way the combat felt as well. And was just like, man, I need to like play this again with a little more earnest. I always dip back into it and like stop back, and pop back out and like start a new character and but I feel like I want to like sit down with that game again from a vanilla standpoint and just play it again, because it's been a while since I've gone back into Fallout 4, and it does play really well. It was a lot of fun. So I was really happy to kind of get back into it and just realize some of the love I had for that, because like there was a moment I was walking up towards the river and the wind was blowing through the buildings. You could like hear it and the buildings creaking, and I'm like, I remember when the game came out, and now you can kind of see its age, but like at the time I remember feeling like, oh, this is great, and I'd open up a window in my room so it'd get a little chilly, so you kind of have that like chilliness in the real room, kind of immerse yourself a little bit, and the wind was blowing. Oh man, it was just I love when those games made me feel like that, when you kind of get into it. And so I want to give that game another go again. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I was doing today, just running around shooting things, enjoying the combat, and regretting that I had turned off my HUD. I turned off the HUD to make it more immersive at the time, to make it feel like Metro or something. And then I regretted doing that. So anyway, Vendor, have you by chance played any Fallout? Okay. Shalene!
Okay, well, I'm continuing to keep up with the scoreboard. So every day I get home and log on, and Archon and I do our homework together. It's good times. I really enjoyed this scoreboard. I don't think we've had a TFS since the current season began. And this scoreboard is Unstoppables themed. And the board, it kind of reminds me of a Trivial Pursuit board, and each little segment is dedicated to a different one of the Unstoppables heroes. There's what's non-copyright infringing Aquaman's name?
I have no
I've forgotten.
Manta-Man.
Manta-Man and the Inspector and the Mistress of Mysteries and the Silver Shroud and Grognak all have their own dedicated segment, and the rewards are related. Some of them, of course, are things like atoms and bottle caps and lunch boxes and that kind of thing. But then some of the rewards are costumes and and little items, power armor skins, items that are Unstoppables themed, and that's very fun. I've really enjoyed that. I really like their sidekick outfits, so you can dress in a theme. You know, you can wear your Man-to-Man outfit, and then your co-op partner can wear the Man-to-Man sidekick outfit. It's really fun. It's really, really fun. And Archon has been dressing appropriately as he goes through the segments. He's been dressing up as each superhero. And of course, it's very unlike him. He always wears like the coat from Far Harbor. What was that companion's name?
I don't remember.
He always wears something like that coat or something like that. That's the style of clothing that he wears usually. And I turned around one day and he's wearing the Man-to-Man tights. I was so shocked.
Are you talking about Longfellow?
Yes, Longfellow. Thank you.
Dang.
He'll wear the Longfellow coat or something like that. Hunter's long coat is what it's called.
Far Harbor was probably one of my most favorite DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like anytime you turn around and someone's in tights, I just want to be like, "You from UPS? Because you've got a package for me, I see."
Now I know why they call it Banana Republic.
You guys. But yeah, he's on the Mistress of Mystery segment now, and that dress really makes his shoulders look broad. Let me tell you what, it's just.
Is it like 80s pads?
No, it's like a thin straps, and like his shoulders are just big in this dress. So funny. One of today's challenges was to do an event wearing a costume. And I was just wearing my Brotherhood Recon armor that I was very proud of. So I didn't have a costume. I was like, okay, I'm going to go home and get a costume. And Archon's like, well, you could have my dress.
Pulls off the shoulder strap.
Yes.
Falls down.
Mm-hmm.
Steps out of it. Here you go.
What a lovely man. Give you the shirt off his back.
The dress off his back.
So I've really enjoyed this scoreboard. It's been good times rolling through this one. I especially liked the inspector sidekick outfit. I thought that was really fun. But yeah, I've enjoyed this. I feel like I feel motivated to come on and do the homework, which I really didn't last season. Last season, I was just kind of trying to muddle through. So oh dear, that's Stephen Russell guesting on the podcast. My bad. Yeah. So. Daily Ops. I mentioned this on an episode of GameStack, I believe, that I've had some incredible Daily Ops drop luck lately. Over the past week, I've been getting usually 2 items that I need every Daily Op, every time I run a Daily Op. And Archon, who runs twice as many Daily Ops as me, is getting 0 items that he needs. So I would get like one of the new Arctic Marine armors and the black hazmat suit, and he gets the neon open sign.
Oh, good, the Galleria sign set. Just what I needed.
But I've been super, super lucky. I have all the limbs for that new Arctic Marine set. I got that black hazmat suit. It looks so cool. I'm so excited to do a Radiation Rumble so I can show off my new hazmat suit.
Is it like the orange one but just black?
Yeah,
nice.
It's completely black.
Nice.
It's really cool. It looks so sharp.
It does look cool.
I finished off my Brotherhood Recon armor set finally. So
Nice.
I built that. I was so excited, and I've just been wearing that around, feeling like I was so cool.
Now this is the set that you had like one of every piece like instantly, and Archon had like 8 legs. Right?
Right.
I can't equip myself, but I can equip a spider.
Yeah, I have 8 right legs and 1 left arm.
Mm-hmm. So funny. But yeah, I got a Skull Lord Blood Eagle helmet, which is super scary. It's like this insane metal contraption with horns and barbed wire and red paint, I hope.
It sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I got a couple of weapon plans, the Soul Survivor, the Hellstorm missile launcher, all this week, all over this last week. I've just had incredible luck with daily ops drops. Today was the first day that I didn't get anything that I needed. So,
Oh, that's a bummer. I mean, I never had luck with those either.
yeah,
You did.
it was really funny.
Doing the Fashionast masks was like so discouraging. I had like 6 of the same mask by the time the event was over.
That first year, the odds were so skewed. It was so impossible to get the rare ones. It was rough that first year. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I enjoy collecting the things, though. I've enjoyed going through that horrendous spreadsheet that Archon got me started on, and collecting all the plans and learning all the mods and stuff. That's been fun times. I've enjoyed that. There was one day that it took us 4 tries to get Elder on the daily op.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Which version of the daily op was it?
It was one of the new double mutation days.
Ooh.
And they were, what were they? They were resilient, and they healed. So you had to kill them with a melee, and they healed each other when they were close together. And it was the one, what's it called? Not the uplink one, but the one where you have to go hunting for them.
Yeah. I don't remember what that was, but I know you have to like kill the thing to find the code piece.
It was a nightmare.
That sounds
this
awful.
daily. It was a nightmare.
That sounds so
And-
bad. Were you
We
dueling
finished-
it, or did you get like
Yes.
scrubs? Oh, you do.
We were
well,
doing
that's-
it, yeah. And we finished it in something like 9 minutes or something the first time, and I was disappointed and annoyed, and we're like, again, let's do it again. So we do it again, and we're still a little short. And I was frustrated, and I was like, I'm disappointed in us. I want to try it again. So, okay, we go back in, and we finished it at like 8 minutes, 4 seconds.
Ooh.
At which point I'm ready to flip the table. I'm ready to go visit my neighbors and flip their tables. And just, I was furious. I was so mad. So I took a break and I walked around. And if you want to know what it looks like when I'm walking around when I'm furious, there's this little animation in Animal Crossing. Sometimes the little ducks or whatever will get really just super mad, and they'll just stomp around. And that's basically what it looks like when I get really mad.
A stompy duck.
Yes, a little stompy duck. And so we came back, we sat down, and we did it. We got it under the 8 minutes, and
Nice.
it was such triumph. It was so good.
At least it wasn't like diminishing returns where it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. It was rough. I was so frustrated. I felt like, I don't know, I had gotten to that point where finishing it was an obsession. You know how sometimes
hit
the
out there.
relationship with video games turns unhealthy?
Yeah.
You're playing too much with Archon, I think.
That was one of those nights, yeah.
Well, yeah, she has gotten the completionist bug on 76, and it's almost like you can't complete that game because there's just so much to collect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and most of it relies on luck.
Well, I think we talked about this before on GameStack, where it's like developers make games for people that have a lot of time on their hands,
Or just play that one game.
like kids, for example. Us adults, we have other responsibilities that make it impossible to get all those achievements.
Well, I think with the trend of games as a service, I mean, Fallout 76 is that way. They develop the game for the people that solely play that game, and they're gonna grind and get that stuff. And that's
They don't respect your time.
I mean, they respect the
Yes.
people's time who play it, but for those of us, who,
I mean,
who
the
don't
same
fit
could
that
be said.
narrative.
Same could be said for Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, Sea of
yeah.
Thieves also does not respect your time.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, especially
and other games as well.
yeah. There's a lot of games like that. I mean, it's just part of
Yeah.
the norm. But
So
I was gonna say, at least they don't usually block off Like if you want to pick and choose what you want, you can just grind for those things, and they don't usually block that off. So usually,
So
anyway,
yeah. One of our favorite events to do, Archon and I, is riding shotgun, where you escort the caravan through the tunnel. It's really fun, and there are three different pairs of trader and caravan guard that you can meet up with. The most common ones to find are Kieran and Eugenie, and sometimes there are the other two, Libby and Carver, I think are their names. But you almost never see Aries and Rudy. But we got around with Aries and Rudy last week, and that was really exciting because it was like having new content because we never see them. And of course, Aries, you'll remember him from the Brotherhood quest line. He was the ghoul that sort of guides you through that underground segment. And I really enjoyed Aries' character. He was so entertaining. He speaks so poetically, and it's also so dark and just ridiculous. And some of his dialogue suggests, and I wouldn't have looked for this if Archon hadn't told me, but there's some theories that maybe Aries is the brother that was allegedly taken by the Sheep Squatch. And that's why he wears that mask, because of the scars from that horrible incident. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
and some of the dialogue really does support that. It was interesting.
Huh.
So I also one day was kind of bored, and I fired up Nuka Tapper on my Pip Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the Pip Boy games, Nuka Tapper. I'd never played it before, and it's a really fun game. It's legit a very fun game, and I wish I could just play it on my phone. They should release it as a phone game. So, yeah, that's my gameplay for
Nice.
lately.
All right. Well, be it the last TFS before it gets consolidated. We wanted to talk a little bit about originally what drew us into the Fallout series, and like what made us want to do the show, and some of our memories and things like that. So Vendor, why don't we put you on the spot and start with you? What did originally draw you to the Fallout series? I know we might have covered this before, but let's just walk down memory lane.
Fallout 3. Yeah. Fallout 3, and it was high school, I think. It was during my high school years. I made a new friend in high school. It was like grade 10, and you know how high school is always very intimidating for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had made a new friend, and we would hang out after school and stuff like that, and she was playing Fallout 3, and I was like, what is this game? Like, this looks really cool. Like, and she's like, oh yeah, it's Fallout 3, and I would watch her play it, and we would just kind of like chill and eat snacks and stuff, and I had come from, like, grew up in a family where video games was always something in our household. We had a Sega Genesis, we had a Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2 and 3 and 4, and I had sort of stopped playing video games at some point. I'm not entirely sure why. I just kind of like grew out of it. And GTA Vice City was probably the last game before my video game hiatus. But it was Fallout 3 that brought me back into video games. And I have been playing video games ever since. So it's been over 10 years now. And I just remember like getting a PlayStation 3 and booting up Fallout 3 for the first time and being so excited to play it, having watched my friend play it and like making my own decisions about it. And it was an old game at that point. Like, it had been out for probably 5 years or so, right? And so Fallout 3 was really sort of that.
I think it would have been that
breakthrough.
Old when you were in high school.
Maybe like 2 or 3 years. It had been out for a couple of years.
2008,
Anyways,
it released.
Okay, so I would have been in college, actually. I would have been in college. Yeah.
That's cool that it got you back into gaming.
Yeah, and so and then Fallout New Vegas happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Fallout New Vegas, as I've said before on the podcast, that it is this it was a filler for Fallout 4, but it actually became one of Bethesda's most popular games. And my theory around that is that people just kept playing it and playing it and playing it while they were waiting for Fallout 4, which took so long.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I don't know. New Vegas is just, it's not cut from the same Bethesda cloth that all the other Fallout games are cut from. It's so different and it's so unique. And the storylines in New Vegas are just so good.
Mm-hmm.
The characters and the NPCs and just like the whole city of New Vegas is just wonderful. So New Vegas was really good. And I played New Vegas probably 4 or 5 times thoroughly. And my last playthrough was probably, I have spent the most time on that than any other playthrough, and it was because I wasn't fast traveling.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that'll do it.
So I was like, I'm gonna play this without convenience. We're gonna do this the hard way, and I would have to make sure that I had all the ammo that I needed and the supplies that I needed to be able to make that trip. You couldn't just, pull up your Pip Boy and click a spot on the map and go there, right? So that's a good way to play Fallout.
Yeah.
It really is.
Honestly,
It really
I
is.
think that if you haven't played Fallout that way, any of the Fallout games, you need to try it, because you learn so much about the world and the map and the characters, and you discover new things that you would never see if you were fast traveling all the time. So yeah.
I remember in New Vegas, in some cave, there was a bunch of night crawlers. I think that's what they were, like the rattlesnake dog things. Oh, God, I hate
Coyote.
those.
Rattlesnake coyotes.
Yeah, I thought they had a Night Stalker. I thought they had a name like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
so,
called the Night Stalker, and they're
Okay.
they're rattlesnake coyote
Okay.
hybrids.
those things. So it was some cave, and they don't point to it. There's just a locked cage that I don't remember if it was very hard or if it was you had to have a key. But the key is just sitting on a cinder block on the fire pit. Like, it's one of the part of the fire pit ring. It's just sitting on that cinder block that if you threw a grenade anywhere near that room where all those things are, it would just blow off into nowhere. Like, it was reminiscent of that, like, opening scene of Saw 1 where the guy wakes up and you see the key float down the thing. Like, he just happened to miss it. It's like that. Like, it just, when I found that key, I'm like, man, how many people missed this stupid key,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just little things
Yeah,
like that.
so it's been a labor of love. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Fallout was there for me in a time in my life when I was really struggling. I was in college. I remember it now. And I had really struggled in my first year of college. So I actually ended up taking a year off. But I mean, I grew up in a middle to low income family. My parents didn't have any sort of savings for my education. I had to put myself through school and pay tuition for that. So during that year off, I had worked 2 jobs. And it was a challenge. Like, I would get up at 6 a.m., work in a coffee shop till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then go to my next job and work from 4 to 11 every day for an entire year, except on weekends, of course. But some weekends I would work in the coffee shop, and it was exhausting. Burnout
Yeah.
totally set in, and Fallout was my escape from that craziness. And it sort of has always been that. So, but it's more to it means more to me than just being Fallout in and of itself, because it's what brought me back to video games.
Yeah.
If I hadn't played Fallout, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And
True for all of
so, right? So so it's a significant part of my life. It hasn't been center focus for a while now, but I still have my bobbleheads, and I still look at them, and I dust them, and I enjoy them, and I love them. And I'm still mad at Bethesda that I can't order the plushies because the shipping is worth more than
It's
the plushies.
ridiculous.
So,
Uh,
did you guys see my last thing that I bought?
nope.
I'm excited.
Hobble and get it.
I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh, it's the statue.
Nice.
Yeah. So from Boston University, is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
So
That's great.
it says post tenebra lux, which means I can never remember.
it's
It
Latin.
means light after darkness.
Ah. Nice. Oh, Lux. Like,
So-
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So like I don't know. There's a lot of symbolism for me when it comes to Fallout. And so, I mean, I do hope to go back to playing some of it one day. And I am excited to see more of what Bethesda is bringing to us, even if it's not Fallout. But yeah, I think that's kind of where it came in for me.
Nice. Shalene, what about you? What originally drew you to the series?
Well, and I know we have told these stories
Yeah.
before, but I think it was about 65 episodes ago. So I feel pretty good about telling them again. My first experience with Fallout was Fallout 3, and I had a GameFly subscription back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was
I forgot about that.
GameFly. So I had a GameFly subscription, and I'm not sure why I decided to try Fallout 3. I thought it was going to be kind of a shooter, is what I was expecting. I had no idea what I was getting into with Fallout 3, but it looked cool enough, and I put it on my GameFly list, and it came. And the weekend that it came, I spent so much time that weekend playing this game. I played for like 18 hours. Like I was not taking a shower. I was not eating food. I was just like this gross little grungy goblin hunched over my controller in front of my TV. And I was obsessed. It was I was so drawn in, and I had no idea how things worked. I was so confused. It was ages before I figured out like how to use the Pip Boy and how things worked in the game to be successful. And it would take me ages to achieve a small goal, just I think I spent several hours clearing the school, the Springvale school, and I spent so much time that first weekend. And I don't know if I've talked about this recently, so new listeners may not know this about me, but I have a bit of an obsessive personality. I can get a little addicted to things sometimes, and that's a behavior that I have to control. Yes, Fender makeup. We don't have to talk about how many palettes are on my eye makeup shelf, but it's a behavior that I have to work to try and curb in myself, and I scared myself the way that I played Fallout 3. And so I put it back in that little GameFly envelope and sent it back. And over the next couple of months, every day I thought about that game. Every single day I thought about that game. I wondered if I had turned left here, what would have been behind that corner. And I wonder if I would have tried sneaking at this point, if maybe I could have gotten around that raider. And I just kept thinking about that world and the music and the aesthetic and all of it. And I bought my own copy, and the rest is history. Yeah.
There is something to be said about the world and the aesthetic and the music, like you said. It is a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
it
really
is
something special.
so incredibly captivating to the people who experience that for the first time. I'll never forget coming out of the vault, walking down that broken road with, knocked over mailboxes and charred houses up to the junction where you can either go right and go to Megaton or go left and go to the school, and you see that first little iBot just doing his little thing out there all by himself, and you're totally and completely utterly alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so immersive.
Yeah.
That moment when the vault door opens and you step outside, gosh, that was something.
Yeah.
Man, I'd never experienced
Mhm.
I'd never experienced anything in a video game like what I did with Fallout 3.
Mhm.
And I picked up Fallout 3 while DLC was still being released. So
Mhm.
I got to experience the DLC as it was coming out, and then I was highly anticipating New Vegas when it came out, and I loved New Vegas. I loved it, if possible, even more than Fallout 3.
Mhm.
And just like you said, Vendor, that was me as well. I was right there playing Fallout New Vegas all the time, and I got really involved in some forums and message boards online about the Fallout series because I just had to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it so much, and there was no one in my life who really knew anything about this or played many video games at all, and not the Fallout series. And I was spending so much time immersed in this world. I had so much knowledge about all these corners because I wanted to know everything and find everything and collect everything. So I did get really involved in a lot of online communities back in the day.
Mean, I loved it so much that when we would go away to, like, say my grandma's or something for a week, and I knew that I wasn't going to have access to it, I would bring the Prima official game guide with me so that I could look at the elements of the game that I might have missed. Like,
I love it. I love
so
it.
So silly.
And of course, this series absolutely changed my life because through my love of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, I ended up trying out to host a Fallout podcast when Fallout 4 was announced. And that's how I met Rick and how I met you, Vendor. And now you guys are my best friends in the world. And hugs.
Rick's like, ugh.
So many other lovely friends that I have met via the podcasting community and via the Fallout community. And my life would be greatly diminished without all of you in it. And that's what Fallout means to me.
Yeah, something just kind of hit me when you guys were talking about, like, the aesthetic and stuff, and I really think that that was my first introduction to mid-century atomic whiz-bang looks.
Oh, really?
Aesthetic. Yeah, like I can't think. I was thinking about it because at the time I was in a female-fronted punk band, listening to Fall of Troy, very modern kind of emo music. I was that sort of thing, and that was kind of the direction I was going in. And then I was just thinking about it now that I feel like when I first saw that zoom out on the bus and the ink spots kind of echo out into
it was so special.
And I didn't know who they were, and I was like, what is this haunting music? I've never heard this before.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
And I was like, it just, everything was like, and I knew about the Cold War and, like, the atomic, and, like, I loved the idea of, like, I've always liked when history was tied into false video games, or real history was tied into, like, fake, like Metal Gear,
fictional universes. Yeah.
So, like, Metal Gear Solid did a lot of that, especially during the Cold War. So I really loved that era of, like, World War II and that war, and so seeing this kind of aftermath was just like, oh, this is new. And then seeing all the tube technology and the TVs and the cars, and it just, I don't know, but I feel like that was what kind of led me to where I'm at now, where I'm obsessed with mid-century modern atomic whiz bang, where if I like wasn't blowing money on audio equipment from that era, I would be buying like, uranium glass to put in a blacklight cabinet and like mid-century furniture. But just
It's why you know what? It's part of the reason why I held on to all of our old lab glass that we were throwing away when we were cleaning out the lab that I used to work in, because I have pieces of old bottles and stuff, and some big domes. Like, I don't know if you can see that there.
Yeah.
That's lab glass,
Oh,
so
cool.
but yeah, like you were saying, like the whiz bang sort of theme, Fallout was, for the first time, allowed me to play a scary game without being scared.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because of that joyful, cheerful music that you could just walk through a sewer and, hey, bongo, 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 I don't want... Like, this is great. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong here.
Well, then Fallout was always good at mixing the witty with the tragic. Like you walk into Springvale School, and that was where what blew me away was in that school where you would look and you'd see one skeleton, and then you'd look and you'd see a pile of smaller skeletons, and you're like, those were kids. And now
the
they're
environmental storytelling has always been so strong.
Yeah, and you're like, gosh, this is tragic. You read or you listen to a holotape or read a terminal about some tragic thing, and it's awful. And then you look up and there's a super mutant address, and you're kind of like, okay, like, all right. It's just everything went crazy, and but I just was thinking about it. I really wouldn't be who I am today, the record collector, record cutter, obsessed with 1940s and 50s audio equipment and microphones, if it wasn't for Fallout. And I never really realized that till now. Like, I
didn't know this.
Yeah, I was not I didn't care about vintage equipment or anything before I played Fallout, and it wasn't too long after that where it started to skew towards that. I mean, if I could show you the audio rack here, it looks like it's from big giant knobs and stuff. It looks like it's from Fallout, I love big knobs. I do. Well, I did. It's just kind of funny that how it took. And my first experience with Fallout was I was working at Target, and it was coming out. It wasn't out yet, and I was telling the people were asking me, because I worked in the electronics section, and people were telling me like, oh, what's this game? And I was like, I think it's and I would tell them, I think it's a first person like survival horror game or something like that, along the lines of like maybe a Resident Evil or something. And the first time I played it, I was in my wife's basement. Can't remember I don't think we were married at the time. And so we were dating, and my friend Mike was over, and we were like playing Guitar Hero and stuff. And I was like, let me try this game. And I didn't realize it was going to go through that whole giant vault scene. So there was like these two completely bored while I'm playing this whole vault opening. But I ended up not giving a crap if they were entertained or not, just because I was so immersed in like, getting out of the vault and everything and seeing the world. And Mike actually went on to being a big Fallout fan, and when he opened up this guitar store called Mike and Mike's Guitar Bar in Washington, Seattle, somewhere like that, they styled it on Atomic Mid-Century Whiz Bang when they first opened. And I don't know, but I feel like that maybe was inspired a little bit by Fallout, because it was very like, some of the decorum was very like Atomic oriented. So well,
I mean it's had such a huge impact on all of our lives.
It did.
I mean, my username wouldn't be what it is.
That's true.
Like
yeah. And I just played that game relentlessly, and the music killed me. It actually got to the point where I was talking to my wife's late grandmother about the Ink Spots, and it turned out that she was a giant Ink Spots fan, and she gave me a little cassette collection of the Ink Spots. And when she passed,
so neat.
Yeah, when she passed, I had a chance to go through her record collection and pick out anything I wanted, and I picked out a couple of Ink Spots records and stuff like that. And but yeah, it's funny how integral some of these things are to our lives, and how integral. By the way, real quick, I had a bit of a Mandela effect with Fallout New Vegas, and I'm wondering if I'm nuts, probable, or if this happened. But I could have swore on a stack of the Hasidic Talmuds that when you first walk into the strip, Dean Martin's Kick in the Head plays, and then sounds like it's coming through like speakers somewhere. I could have swore.
Is that one of the trailers?
I could have swore it was in-game. Like it plays it, and like you first like open up in, and then it and then you're walking through the town, and it kind of like sounds like it's coming from like speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
I don't remember that.
I could have swore it did
But
that.
I was just grateful to be there because I had that glitch where you had to wear that one particular hat.
Is that what started your love of hats?
Maybe.
This is turning into
Yes,
like a psychology session here.
There was a single hat in Fallout New Vegas with the particular glitch that I had. There was a single hat that you could get and wear, and it would let you access the strip. Otherwise, you could not get on the strip. And that one hat, it was possible to sell it. It was just like, it was lucky that I liked that hat and had kept it.
Boone's like, can I please have my beret back now, please?
No, I got so lucky with the glitches. I didn't have like, people would always talk about the game breaking glitches, and I didn't really have any of them. Even with Fallout 4, didn't have much in the way of glitches.
No, me neither. Me neither.
So-
You know what's really funny? So my boss that I have now, her husband is a videographer, so he makes films and does production and stuff like that. His company is named Fallout Media, and when I asked him where he thought up the name,
No kidding.
so yeah,
Huh.
so it's not just us where Fallout has had a huge impact. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I can't tell you.
And the other thing, actually, I should say for our listeners who are joining, if you want to join in on the conversation and share your story about how Fallout has had an impact on your personal life, email us and we'll talk about it on the next episode of GameStack or subsequent episodes. info@wejustlovegames.com. We'd love to hear your stories.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say it's even to the point now where I am obsessed with collecting ephemera from that era too, like advertisement pieces and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's just.
Rick, you got to go to Palm Springs, buddy. You got to go. It's so mid-mod. It's just
I am determined that for my next home, I'm building like a mini Copacabana type area for like vinyl records and having parties, like a little mid-century bar. It's gonna happen because like I have too many dope records to like keep them to myself, and I need people to come over and like have you know
Yeah.
awesome music playing. Yeah. So it's so weird
gosh,
how
I just
much
want a martini now.
it's so weird how much that like that game via that era influenced my life. Like it's
Huge.
it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm just looking around at the stuff that's just you can see.
And the
Fallout
best
everywhere.
part is like a lot of my friends are like, how do you know all of this old music? Like, were you born in the wrong era? I'm like, no, I just played Fallout for like a decade.
Yeah. I lived.
Yeah, I actually, at the time that I discovered the Fallout series, I was working in a 50s style diner.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and it was so funny to visit the Dots diners in Fallout, and they were so similar to my own workplace.
God, I love those chrome diners where you can find one with the checkerboard floor.
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't even care if the food's bad. I just like the aesthetic.
Yeah, I actually kind of had diner PTSD, and I just get really like I clench up when I see one because I had 11 years of really bad experiences in that place. Like anybody else who out there has worked food service knows what I'm talking about. You know, everybody has taken a turn going into the walk-in freezer to cry.
Oof. Oof.
And I'm only just starting to get over that. Like I saw a 50s style diner. I think it was in 76, and I noticed that I was inside it and hanging out, and I was not stressed. I didn't feel instant stress. So I'm healing. Nature is healing.
You know, one of the other things, yeah, all the stress balls are like they go in hiding when you.
Too. I devastate stress balls. Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say is that this one friend that had gotten me into Fallout, we would have sort of a modern day LAN party. So she would bring her Xbox over and I would have my PlayStation, and we would have them set up on 2 different TVs in the same room, and we'd have snacks and all the things and stuff.
Yes.
And yeah, now that I think about it, that was some good times. And we'd play for like 12 hours or something stupid. Like,
that's
so
lovely.
Fun. Yeah.
Lovely.
I wonder what she's doing now.
It is incredible how much these games influence, and we don't even realize it, little by little, and in positive ways.
I have a question for you guys. Where do you see the Fallout universe going, and what would you like to see?
I would love to see Obsidian under the Microsoft banner develop a Fallout, not Fallout 5, but like their own standalone Fallout, and have it published by Bethesda again. That I would love to see.
I would really like to see them build a dream team, because they've got every studio who has ever developed Fallout work under their banner now. They could assemble a team with the original Black Isle guys and Obsidian and current Bethesda. I'd like to put together a dream team and see what they came up with.
I would also like to see Frisco. San Francisco, I think, would be a really interesting location, mainly because like the bridge and stuff like that. I just think that'd be a cool landmark to have. Or like maybe even like the Grand Canyon area would be really interesting too. We have like cities on the canyon walls and stuff like that. And
I'd love to go back to the West Coast.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really care where it's set. I just want it to be on a new engine.
I doubt that's gonna happen.
I want new mechanics.
I mean, they're just gonna revamp the creation engine to make it more modern and have more things, because they're not gonna. I mean, we saw what happened when Mass Effect went to a new engine. It didn't work very well. So they're probably just going to stick with what they know, which is fine. I don't mind the creation engine. I like the kind of funkiness to it. It kind of adds to a bit of the oddball.
I do enjoy the jank.
Yeah, I do. But for me, it's all about the story. And I love what they did in New Vegas with the story, the world building. I only like Fallout 3's location better just because I live near there, relatively speaking. So, yeah, I would love to see like a Bethesda Dream Team, or not Bethesda, but like a Fallout Dream Team, and then have that under the Bethesda banner via Microsoft would be fantastic.
Jess says Quebec or New Orleans. I think New Orleans, like the Bayou.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Fallout in the Bayou with like radioactive alligators.
That'd be terrifying.
That would be so fun. Yeah. We had radioactive alligators, though.
Did we?
That was part of Nuka World.
Oh man,
yes.
I didn't play much of Nuka World, but also Point Lookout.
The lizard dudes in New Vegas as well.
Yeah, Point Lookout was
a little
super
bayou-ish.
Super bayou. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would not be opposed to an entire game of that. Point Lookout was bloody brilliant.
There's a lot of places you could go.
But that's the thing, like Taz says downtown Chicago or something like that. Fallout 4 was set in Boston. Fallout 3 set in Washington, D.C. huge cities
Yeah.
for them to model, and we don't really see that in Fallout 76.
Yes,
No,
that's one of the things the game lacks.
Right? It's a lot of
Is
small
urban.
towns.
Mhm.
There's no wide urban sprawl, and I think that would be really cool to see.
Also,
I loved, like in Fallout 4, going up like 9 flights in an apartment building and going through every single little apartment,
Yes.
and like looking in the bread boxes and opening the cupboards and just seeing the skeleton of a little old lady in the chair that she like died during the blast while she was watching TV. You know, like, that's yeah. What were you going to say, Shalene?
Another thing that I really feel like 76 is lacking is ruins. Appalachia did not get hit as hard by the bombs as some of these urban centers did, like the Commonwealth and like the Capital Wasteland did. And it's not as ruined. It's often green and beautiful in Appalachia. And while I do enjoy the beautiful vistas and some of the landscapes, part of what attracted me to Fallout originally was that haunting, ruined, cityscape.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if anything, it's going to make you appreciate what comes next. You know what I mean? Fallout 76, I feel, is like it's its own thing. They were going for a very specific setting, a very specific feel with a very specific storyline that almost felt like a published experiment that they were trying to do. But
I've been claiming this for like how many years? It's a giant social experiment, you guys. It's all part of a government conspiracy.
I wasn't going to go that tinfoil with it, but okay.
You look really good in that tinfoil hat, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think that like when we get the next Fallout and hopefully it is more ruined like that, it'll make us be like, oh, we're back, we're home, picking through the rubble.
Yeah. That's the thing. What I would like would be a co-op experience for Fallout. Because I wanted multiplayer, and then I got multiplayer, and then I realized that I didn't want multiplayer because it was a world filled with a bunch of randos that were taking my stuff. Like. Did
you ever play in a private world with us?
Fallout First is that thing. Yes, you're right. And that is what it is. So I do hope that the next whatever it is has the same capability.
I do agree with you, like a Borderlands type of thing where you're both. I understand what you're saying. Like a 1 to 2 person co-op situation would be fun. I'm a little nervous because I always feel like that's such a close line to tread to MMO territory that like I almost want it to just be, let's just do single player and not go anywhere near multiplayer. So no, we don't have any dumb decisions where like there's loot issues and I get something and then you don't get it and then who gets this
and who makes progress in the main quest and who doesn't.
Yeah. So like as much as I love co-op, I'm so scared to see how it was implemented with 76 is not how I really like it too much.
That's exactly and it works. Yeah. It works really well in worlds like Sea of Thieves, where the world is what it is. Certain things happen. There's certain stuff, and that's it. But it's so like Fallout 76, Appalachia is so complex, and there's all these different elements to it that makes it very difficult. I can understand why they've had so many problems trying.
When you're doing the story co-op in 76, you really do need to have somebody that has a similar play style to you. Yeah. And you have to be able to be with somebody who you can comfortably tell to shut up when you're listening to a holotape.
Yeah.
Well, that's the hard part, right? I mean, we spent so many years, especially if you've come from Fallout 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but we've spent so many years playing a very specific type of Fallout. Very, solo, very alone. You take your time to explore or don't explore. The world is your oyster, to Fallout with friends in a way that, and again, it's been this theme with 76, and I hate to keep picking on it, but because like 76, if you approach it from like what Bethesda was trying to do, Like you can see what they were. You can see it from there. You can see it like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. But the way that it was sold, and the way that we wanted it to be, and the way Bethesda was developing it were vastly three different things. And like, you know, we are like, oh, Fallout with friends, it's going to be like walking around Boston with your friends, and it's not like that at all. And so yeah, I mean, I can see where like a lot of signals got crossed and whatnot, but I am hoping, pining for the day when we have our standalone Fallout, whether it's an offshoot of the numbered series or Fallout 5, to go back into that loneliness of the wacky wasteland. I'm very excited for that.
Honestly, I'd love to see it like another version of New Vegas, like New Seattle, or you know, just a smaller a game, but just really story rich, like New Vegas was. Yeah.
All right. Do we want to talk any more about? I mean, we've kind of waxed at length about our memories, and we've talked about
I really
it before.
enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah, it was good.
Closure.
Closure. We do have a weapon of the week, which is also a bit of closure. It was actually mentioned in the chat by someone. I think Vod Knockers. Anyway, Knocker. I am saying that right. But anyway, Shalene, what is the weapon?
Vodka knockers.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Why did you say that? I can't unhear it.
Vodka knockers. Oh, it works when you say it quicker. Vodka knockers. What's the weapon of the week, Shalene?
So I thought it was really appropriate that the weapon of the week would be the final word. And the final word is a Fallout 76 weapon. It was introduced with the Wastelanders update. It is a 50 caliber machine gun, anti-armor, rapid, resilient, are the legendary effects, and it obviously uses 50 cal ammo. But this gun is something that you get when you complete the Thicker Than Water quest from Beckett. So when you, at the very end of Beckett's storyline, you get the final word, and it's a great weapon. It's a really solid 50 cal, and I felt like it was the most appropriate weapon of the week.
I never did use it too much.
It's pretty good.
But I always liked the miniguns and stuff. But you were always the 50 cal fan, especially in
Nuclear
Winter, yeah. I mean, who's Beckett again? What did he do? I forget who Beckett.
Beckett was a former Blood Eagle.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes.
That whole thing. Yeah. That was a good quest.
It was a great quest line.
That's the goofy thing about 76 sometimes, is their quests can be so memorable. And then sometimes it's just so short and you want more. But anyway, I believe that's the show.
Wait, isn't Vodka Knockers from 2.5 Men? I feel like that's from 2.5 Men.
Maybe. Do we have Charlie Sheen in the chat?
Anyways, continue.
Any closing? Yes, I have some closing remarks. Thank you for joining us on that Fallout show journey end of watch. However, like we said, we're just consolidating this into Game Stack so we can focus all of our efforts and all of our loves of games, because we just love games. So we're going to put it all together and smush it together. And bits and pieces of the show we're going to be put into Game Stack. So really, we just need you guys who are listening to that Fallout show to come over and subscribe to the GameStack channel. We're going to be cross-posting a few GameStack episodes onto this feed, so that way you can kind of see what's going on, and then we're moving everything over to the GameStack feed. So just search us for that. But beyond that, any closing remarks, you guys? Anything? Any final words? I'm kidding. Nothing? Okay. You can tweet at us at We Just Love Games, at Rick McVick, at Shalene L, and at Tendertron N. You can also tweet at the show at That Fallout Show. We'll keep that Twitter active just in case you need to contact us there. Our Facebook will also remain active as far as the users are
I
concerned,
mean,
because
yeah,
we never post anything.
We don't post,
No.
but we've got a couple of MVPs over there.
We
Scott
do.
always posts, and Nick Flores, he posts.
So you can reach that group at facebook.com/thatfalloutshow and facebook.com/groups/thatfalloutshow, and also the GameStack/channel at Facebook, which is facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames and facebook.com/groups/WeJustLoveGames. You can email us. Please email us your Fallout memories, and we'll talk about them on GameStack next episode. That is info@WeJustLoveGames.com. That's also how you can get to the Discord. One of the ways, you just email us the request to the Discord there. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/WeJustLoveGames. Catch all of our live streams here at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. You can also find our podcasts on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, wherever they're found. Please leave us a 5-star review with some texty texts if you would like a shout out on our GameStack podcast. We love reviews. We love reading them. We thought the one today was very heartfelt and poignant, and we love when we hear stuff like that. It helps us know that, we're not just doing this in a vacuum. So we record live every other Friday at 6:30 Mountain, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. And please check out our other show, because that's where all future content will be. GameStack is our podcast there. And we also do Twitch streams when we can. We will be bringing back Survival Horror Sundays when Back for Blood comes out. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep you posted. Thank you so much for listening to That Fallout Show and sticking with us for these 65 episodes. 60 episodes, I should say. And Shalene, what is your last word?
War never changes.